Behind the scenes sneak peek of our course all about Microsoft Clarity, we're going to dive into Lesson 2, Touring Microsoft Clarity, but specifically the topic of filtering. So let's go ahead and dive in and take a look. So inside of Microsoft Clarity, no matter where you're at, your dashboard, your recordings, your heat maps, you have this beautiful option of filters. So by default, you're going to be at your last 3 days. That's kind of the default it does. And you can choose last 7, last 30, and then you could do a custom date range for this. Remember, heat maps only keep data for 13 months, recordings for 30 days. So it depends on what kind of questions you have and all that. You just be careful with that. We're going to go ahead and just kind of keep it at the last 7 days, just to kind of keep that there. Then we have, so this is all under user info, which is this section. And so we can see the day of the week, which day of the week do you want to look at? We haven't had a use case for this, but possibly if you're, doing some sort of content marketing and it goes out on a Tuesday, you want to see how people behave with it on Tuesday versus when something else happens or whatever it is, you can definitely filter out or filter down, filter out by this. And so devices, we mentioned that before on our dashboard video. So where you can have, where we see the different types of devices. If you only want to see your mobile, you can do that here and we could see this little filter being added. If you only want to see Chrome versus any of these other browsers, you can do that here. Maybe you're troubleshooting something. You want to know, like, is this error? Is this page converting? Or are people clicking if they're on mobile and they're on Safari? Or are they only clicking if they're on desktop and Chrome? So you can go through and kind of compare those. And then you can go through with your operating system, location, and all of that fun stuff. And if you have a user ID, you can go through that, but you don't really have to, that's a little bit more advanced. Don't need really necessarily worry about that one. And you could also filter out location, not just country, but state and city. Now, here is this option where you see under browser, operating system, and location, you can exclude it. So instead of saying, I need to see check, 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 you can just say, I just need to exclude this one. I need to exclude our developers in whatever country it is that they're in because I don't want to include them. And so remember, as we were going through our setup, I'm going to pop in right here with this IP blocking and stuff here. This is the way where you can go through and not have necessarily have to do this, but you can filter people out, like your location. You can filter out certain locations or cities if you wanted to do that, or if you want to have your internal team use UTMs, you can always exclude maybe when they use test. There you go. So if they exclude source equals test, so there you go. All the internal traffic is now not going to be included. So that's the way you can kind of get around that whole IP thing. Now we have user actions. So we can go through and see the definitions of rage clicks, dead clicks, excessive scrollings, and quick backs again. So you can go through and see those. And then we have actions, cursor movement to user move their mouse. Good golly, I hope everyone is doing that because if not, that a bot? Like, 'cause that to me that seems a little bit odd that we have this one. Enter text, super useful if you have some sort of form you want them to do. And so same thing, selected text, which would be kind of interesting, especially content marketers. Maybe they're copying and pasting something, or if maybe they're super into it. And then resize the page. This is just a pro tip for you. This one it is not as useful as it could be yet because a lot of responsive pages will resize depending on the monitor size and stuff. So, and the Clarity tool will pick that up. Oh, they resized the page. Well, no, they didn't. They didn't intentionally do that. That was just their, the browser because it's a responsive page. So don't pay too much attention to this one yet. Maybe they'll kind of get that fixed so it's not like an automatic, hey, they resized the page. Everyone's resizing the page. And then the clicked text, again, we can see exactly what it is that you want them to click on. You can filter by that. Like, did they click next? Did they click add to cart? Did they click buy now? What did they do? And you note that it's searches for an exact match. So that means it is case sensitive, space sensitive, all the things sensitive there, as well as scroll depth. Again, fantastic for content marketers or those longer sales pages where you really want to see like how is the page behaving, or which pages are getting them halfway through, or which ones are not getting them halfway through. So a fantastic, I mean, this is why this is my most favorite part of Microsoft Clarity. So you can really kind of see what's going on here. Smart events, again, we will go through those in lesson number 3, but this is where you can go through and choose what, and it's also neat that you can say or and. So I want to know they downloaded and they purchased, or whatever it is. You could say that they do both of those, and both. So, and you could also exclude, like I need people to know the people that downloaded but did not purchase or something, or actually I would say did not purchase. I want to see those that did not purchase. So it says exclude smart events of purchase. Goal setup. This is one of those things because we're technically integrated with Google Analytics, and we have been since the super old Universal Analytics days. It has not been able to grab our GA4 event slash key event slash conversions, whatever they're going to call them. So my understanding is that the original API GA4, they were able to grab them. The GA4 changed the API or something, and Clarity could not grab that information anymore. But it is my understanding that that will be a fix soon. Now, is it, early 2024 soon or end of 2024 soon? I don't know. I was just told soon and they're working on it. So, if you are integrated and you've gone through these steps and you can I would just double check those, kind of every once in a while to kind of see if those goals have been updated to be those events or key events inside of Google Analytics 4. And so once that happens, this is a game changer because that'll be incredibly useful to be able to use that stuff too. And then this is where you can say if you want to see very specific URLs, and look, you can do multiple URLs. I want to see if they see this blog, this blog, this blog, this blog. You can go through this. Just be very careful with your the operator. This is what it's called, the operator. Is it exactly, which one is it that you're looking for? And then if you are looking for a referring site, so let's say digital marketer is sending us some site and some visitors, and we want to see exactly how they performed, we could do that here. Obviously, we need to get rid of some of these other filters, but we would be able to see how is that traffic doing when, or when Mercer speaks on a stage, there could be like some sort of measure camp or something like that, some sort of thing that we have. We'd be able to go through and see that. Same thing with all the other UTMs that we have here. Channel, again, this is defined differently than a Google Analytics channel. I do wish that they have a learn more doc like right there so we can go through like, well, how are you defining it, Clarity? So we could see that. So there, and then performance. So this is where you can go through and see, well, I want to see the pages that are really bad. I want to see the ones that are really good, or whatever custom thing you're trying to look for. And so this way you can kind of group them all together and maybe send them all off to your dev or somebody's like, hey, these are the problem. Go find the common denominator and fix it. So you can go through, which is also incredibly helpful. And you have all of the little help docs, help little icons here. Page loading speed. Again, why do we call it page loading speed? And this is largest contentful paint. I mean, that is just the weirdest name. And then we have our session information, which is duration, click count. So the number of clicks in a session. So we'll learn a little bit more about that when we have our recordings and stuff. That'll make a little bit more sense. And then same thing with session page count. How many pages are they viewing in their session? And then we can go on through with our page duration, like how long are they spending on a page? Maybe you have a VSL, like a video sales letter, and the video is 30 minutes. So you want to see how people are interacting with the page, maybe around the 15-minute mark when the button pops. You want to know, are they seeing the button? Are they interacting with the button? What are they doing? So you can go through and customize that. Page click count, like how many times are they clicking on the page. If it's an e-commerce page where there's like, images and maybe a video and all kind of little other things to interact with, you'd probably expect a little bit higher count. But if it's a sales page with one thing to do, click to go to the cart, you probably want that to be kind of low. So you can go through and kind of that. JavaScript errors, you can also go through and you can choose which particular JavaScript error. And then page size, like height and width of a page. If you are looking for, again, content marketers, incredibly useful to be able to do this. Or if maybe you have 20 different sales pages and you just need to compare them. And you're like, I just need to see all the ones that are bigger than this or shorter than this or whatever it is. So there's lots of different things. Screen resolution, visible page, and hidden page. So hidden page, the amount of time a page was open but hidden behind another tab. So all these guys up here are hidden right now. So sorry guys. So if you wanted to know how long something was hidden, you can go through this. I haven't had a much of a usefulness for this, but it is kind of neat that if I ever had this question, I could answer that here. And then same thing, visible would be the opposite logic of that too. Um, and then screen resolution, this is where you can go through and adjust this as well. Again, haven't quite found a usefulness of this to go through with clarity. However, it's nice to know if I ever had that question, I could. Now we have custom tags, which again is going to be covered in lesson 3 when we go through the little bit more customization type stuff. But if we were to have those set up here, we would be able to see those and see that here. And then we have custom user ID if we were to have that and all these other things. So if you have that custom stuff here, you would be able to adjust and filter by that. And then we go through and apply and simply everything on our dashboard. And then remember our recordings and remember our heat maps all have the same filter. If I remove the mobile filter, and then all of a sudden, and I go to recordings, it also has that removed. Same thing with the dashboard. It is really nice that you don't have to constantly remember what it is. You have to go through and add it back in or whatever it is. Now, the super duper cool thing that we can do is we can save as a segment. It says save as a segment. Do you want to save this as a new segment or update an existing one? We're going to say save as new. And we're going to say excludes test traffic. That's all it is. And so now we can save. And there we go. So now we have a segment that we can, if we want to go ahead and clear that there. And we can then choose our segment here. And we could say, I want to do that one. Choose that one. So now we see we're on excludes test traffic and we have exclude our test traffic here. It added that one in there so we can see it even if we weren't quite remembering like what was this one? What did we do here? It puts all the filters back in place, which is really nice. And remember, we have our watch list. If we wanted to add some sort of watch list, and pick a segment in here. So if we were doing like pay traffic or something a little bit more useful or a launch or something, we could do that there. So that is, going through and filtering, which my opinion is probably the best part of Microsoft Clarity. If you enjoyed this particular topic and want to see more, make sure you check out the Measurement Marketing Academy. You can go to measure.tips/getacademy to find out more if this is the right solution for you to be able to grow that measurement muscle. We'll see you next time.